Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, Geek Chic, and we're back with another reaction to The Umbrella Academy. We are now on to episode 7, which is called, no, 8, sorry, episode 8. Wow. Which is called The 7 Stages. So we are getting right into the prime of the show now. We're getting towards the end. Only 3 more episodes after this one. Yeah, things are getting messy. I'm liking it. We're having a lot of storylines kind of start to collide as far as what the siblings have been up to individually, as well as, like, of course, this overarching issue with the end of the world coming. And now, of course, as I said before, with the handler and, of course, Lila, who's kidnapped Diego and decided to force him into being her boyfriend. So, lots going on. Not really sure where we're going to go with this particular episode, but yeah, there's a lot to get into as far as what's left in this season, and we're not going to know what's all about till we get into the episode, so we're going to do that. But before we do, 2 things. Number 1, if you've been here before and you like this face, you like what you're seeing here, please hit that subscribe button because that lets me know you like this kind of content. And of course, your girl's trying to grow her family. We're trying to get to that 10K, y'all. Okay? And secondly, this is not a market substitute, which basically means that this is the reaction video, meaning if you are looking to watch the entirety of this video or the entirety of this show, you should be watching it from its original source, which is Netflix, not here. This video will be edited. I will be talking over the video. I will be pausing sometimes. All that stuff happens, so just be forewarned. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right about now.
Mrs. Cooper and the boy have been released back into the custody of Mr. Cooper.
Custody.
You have had your possession privileges
Revoked.
I regret nothing. Stay out of me. I regret nothing.
That's right, Ben. You tell him. This is what happens when you let him sit there and stew for years.
Don't you get it? Oh, sweet Jesus. What the hell are we going to do?
It's okay. Calm down.
No, it isn't.
Allison, you killed a vacuum cleaner salesman in our goddamn living.
Right? And he's white.
His brother killed him, and they were not here to sell vacuums.
But
There is a giant dead white boy on our couch.
Yeah,
thank you.
I'll admit, that doesn't look good.
No.
That was not a good time. Oh, I'm sorry. Allison, I'm so worried about
the way you completely ignored him.
what's the matter? You guys have been wrestling in here or something?
Wrestling. I hate you.
It's gonna be one of those kind of nights, huh? So are we burning or burying?
I love this family. Oh, is he gonna finally figure out that he was set up? Please. Oh, wow. Yeah. She did. She set you up bad.
New question, then. Why are you doing
Are you involved in something?
Kind of liking their dad. He's kind of swaggy. I don't know why I'm feeling that right
it?
now.
Something more specific in mind?
I can't believe that. I'm sorry.
I'm scared, legit. Did Diego indirectly get his mother killed? Because that will literally break him. Let's hope that's not the case.
I just arrived in Dallas 15 minutes ago.
Should I be worried about you?
Luther, if you recall, I was sent to 1963 on a job by the commission to make sure the president is assassinated.
So wait, your old self is out there.
There we go. Welcome to the program.
What's
These 7 stages in paradox psychosis are: stage 1, denial; 2, itching; 3, extreme thirst and urination; 4, excessive gas; 5, acute paranoia; 6, uncontrolled perspiration; and 7, homicidal rage.
Awesome. Let's try to not get to number 7K.
Whatever happens, whatever I say, you need to get that briefcase. Okay?
Right. Luther likes this. Mission, clear instructions, things to do. Let's hope he stays on task.
Luther, come on. shame.
It's kind of funny the way he said sis because it's her name, but it felt like he said sister and they're in the South. Never mind.
Turns against you.
No, you turned me against you because you're gross.
Harlan needs a family. Not many.
Okay, who's flying in the sky? Harlan's like, say my name again. Say my name again so I don't throw his whole easel at your face. Ooh, didn't I say shock therapy? Did I not call this crap? Is that supposed to be LSD?
Now just relax.
What is that?
LSD. I don't know if Vanya's powers and drugs are a good combination at all. But y'all asked for that. Ah, she's tripping balls! Tripping eyeballs! You know what's making me laugh is that if they'd done this to Klaus, Klaus would have totally ridden it out because he's done like every drug. It would have been so funny. They seem to like doing this, right? Because last season they did that, right? Klaus was kidnapped and they pumped him full of drugs thinking like that was gonna like make him talk, and now they're doing this with Vanya. Oh, she's getting her memories back. Ben! Sorry.
He doesn't travel back to 2019 like he's supposed to. The whole thing unravels itself. I cease to exist.
Yeah.
You got me?
Nope.
I get you.
No. Luther is just the muscle, the very pretty muscle.
You just itched your neck. That's stage 2 of paradox psychosis.
No, I didn't.
I didn't itch my neck.
Denial is stage 1.
I am fine. It's there.
Oh no. This is already too much.
All those years in the apocalypse, we never stopped worrying about our family. Well, today, you are going to do something about it. Today, you are going to attempt to time travel forward to 2019. However, you are going to screw up the jump and end up in this twig of a body, trapped forever.
Don't say that, he's cute.
Okay. Something doesn't feel right about this. But what do you mean? I don't trust him.
He's you. Exactly why I don't trust him. Of course, Diego would go in with only half the information. This is what I was afraid of. You know that expression that says a little knowledge is more dangerous than none at all?
I'm Herb. I'm an analyst.
I'm Diego. I have a knife.
I can see.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. Kind of like her. I'm not gonna lie.
One more turn into Elm, and they're gonna start shooting. Whoa, what the hell is that?
That's the FBI building.
Yeah, but why the hell did it just blow up?
That's not supposed to happen.
No, that's not supposed to.
Vanya!
They didn't kill us.
And then the apocalypse that Five tried to tell you about, you dummy. Do you see why things sometimes just have to happen the way they should now, Diego, finally? People who hate the handler, I'm about it. That's right, the girl who asked her to share a sandwich day 1 doesn't like her either. Me too.
Besides, it's too late for him anyway.
Too late.
Paradox psychosis? Best thing we can do is put him out of his misery.
What?
Wow.
You're saying to kill him?
This is getting so complicated and I love it.
Are you sure you don't have paradox psychosis?
I've never felt better in my life.
They would both have it, Luke. Why are all the smart people not here? Ben, Allison.
Maybe she's been faking it all along.
She's just not ready for this.
Oh, see, Ben's always a sweetheart.
7 deliberately chooses not to remember.
This is true. I've been saying that since like episode 2.
Try it. It might help you remember.
Oh yeah, symbolic. I'm about it. Brain, memory. Diego, you need to show up. They're connected. I knew it.
Why are people so much heavier when they're dead?
The way she casually says that.
Is my other brother, Diego.
Hey, man. Sorry to crush you in here like this.
Poor Ray.
Hey, who's this guy?
Herb, shit.
Ray, baby.
First of all, this son of a bitch beams into our living room with yet another one of your brothers. And he's talking about stopping one of your sisters from blowing up some buildings. And I got a dead man wrapped up in my best robe, baby.
I know, boo-boo.
I'm not afraid.
Then eat. One more bite and you can go.
I'm conflicted about this. Like, I feel where she's coming from, but what he's saying is so true, though. Like, she needs to stop pretending she doesn't care. Oh, she remembers her birth. I don't even think the rest of them have that memory. Oh, poor Harlan. But how are they connected? I'm so confused. Harlan's talking too! Okay, this connection that she has with Harlan is terrifying. Does he have her powers now? And if so, this is not very good with somebody who might... Oh, wow. Things got dangerous, y'all. Oh, no. New information. Equally terrifying. Okay, guys, that was episode 8 of The Umbrella Academy, called The 7 Stages, and clearly it was referring to what 5 was going through as far as seeing his old self. Wow, so many things are going on. Like, I feel like there's just all these different pieces of a massive puzzle that are kind of sort of coming together, but I'm not sure that they're going to make a complete or a not completely terrifying picture when it's all said and done. All right, let's just quickly go through, like, I feel like the stuff with 5, because I mean, okay, first of all, I'm going to say, this kind of felt a little fillery. This is the first episode where I feel like it was just a little bit fillery. I don't know that we really had a lot happen. I'm not mad at it because I do understand, you know, this is still a character drama at its heart, and so you kind of have to get these episodes in where we talk a little bit more about character development, but as far as what actually happened with the general plot, we didn't really move that far. But let's just kind of jump into the major parts that were brought up. Obviously, the stuff with 5. Interesting. One thing I love about 5's character is that he is always thinking. I love that he has always got like a scheme going on in his head. He's always like thinking 2-3 steps ahead. He is the strategist of the group. Like I said a couple episodes ago, he's the most like their father. Like, he had the backup plan of going and stealing the suitcase from his future self. And I wasn't sure because they didn't really mention it this season that 5 is exactly back where he was when he did the first jump to 2019. Like, it took me about 3 episodes to remember that because I was like, why Dallas? I wonder why. And then it hit me. I'm like, oh yeah, dummy. 5 was there. That's where he was when he jumped to the future. So anyway, or I guess in his case it would have been the past. But anyhow, I love that he had the backup plan of stealing the case back from his former self in order to, you know, as a Hail Mary, as he said, to try to get back to their timeline, but obviously dealing with himself before he's seen everything that's happened, you know, in the 14 days, as he puts it, since all of this happened, he knew there was going to be issues. Like he said, like, I'm a highly trained assassin. I already know that I'm not going to trust me. I know how I think. Plus, of course, there is, for all of you who are familiar with the whole idea of time travel, there's always been this rule, which of course the details of the rules vary depending on how people decide to, you know, put it out there, but the baseline is that if your future self and your past self, you know, or you know, on 2 different timelines interact, bad things happen. Watch Back to the Future. If you haven't watched the Back to the Future films, I feel like they're a really good way to have the ideas around time travel explained in a very simplistic way. By the ever hilarious Christopher Lloyd. But digressing, I thought it was very interesting that I think they played it so brilliantly with having both 5s suffering from the paradox issues, which is impairing both of their thinking to some degree, and also the fact that 5 is really just operating on straight desperation here. Like, seriously, have we even seen 5 sleep? Legit, have we seen 5 sleep or actually relax since, like, season 1? Like, my guy has been going hard since all this started, so he very well may not be thinking with the clearest of heads right now, but all that aside, we just saw kind of like that really cool layered scene with him and his future self. Both of them are scheming while dealing with each other, both trying to figure each other out. Like, it's just such a deep thing when you think about, I'm me but you're me, and I'm trying to think of what I would think if I were me in your situation, but I can't because we're not the same, but we're the same. Like, it's brilliant, and I really want to give kudos again to the writers for writing what's very difficult and layered and complicated, but doing it in a way that's entertaining and still pertains to the storyline. And again, just having Luther is just like this spectator who's kind of like us as the audience, like, what the hell is even happening right now? Why is this so complicated? I thought that was really brilliant. The big thing I took away from that scene where it's, you know, old Five, new Five, and Luther sitting at the table is when Five said, and I think that Luther's the first person who's really heard Five say this, where he said, you know that when we were wandering around in that post-apocalyptic world for years, all we did was mourn our family. We know how we felt. And I don't think Five's ever admitted that to any of the other family members. Like, I mean, I think they all know that in his own very sardonic and sarcastic way, he clearly loves them, but I don't think anyone's really heard him admit just how lonely and sad and how much he loved, like how much it meant to him, how much his family meant, and how much it hurt him and devastated him to be without them, to be the one to find their bodies, right? So I think that that's something that is going to be pretty important to number one, because Luther is the most sensitive out of the group. That's been brought up many times, and I think sometimes he felt like Five didn't really care. But I think hearing that, especially with Luther being the sensitive one out of them, like he's kind of the heart of the team, I think it's going to mean a lot to him, and I think it's going to help him be a lot more empathetic towards Five going forward and what he's been through and why this mission is so important. Because I feel like Luther's kind of been half-assing it as far as following Five along with this, and I talked about this a few reviews ago, that Luther's still struggling with having something to really care about now that he feels like Allison's out of reach again. But I feel like this is going to kind of renew him a little bit, that now knowing that what Five has really been going through mentally and emotionally and how important it is for him to save his family, I think it's going to help put a fire under Luther to be much more dedicated to the cause going forward. And I think that's necessary, because even though we've seen Luther basically only stress eat this whole season, he was number one for a reason, not just because he was oldest. He really does have the ability to pull the group together with that heart. And he just hasn't had his heart in it. He hasn't had his heart in anything where the group's been concerned so far. So I think that's a real good catalyst for him to finally kind of stop feeling sorry for himself and wallowing and getting back into, okay, this is what I do, which is lead this group. We can briefly talk about Allison, because not much happened with her either. I mean, I'm glad that they addressed the very huge dead Swedish elephant in the room about the fact, like I said this, I think in the last episode, that not going to look good for two black people in the 60s, one of which who was an activist, to have a dead white guy in their living room. Like, oh my gosh, hilarity of Klaus showing up and just being like, anyways, oh, another dead body, how are we dealing, like, you know, just showing Ray that, like, the Hargreaves family has such a different experience than everyone. There's such a twisted but beautiful little family, and I just loved watching Ray's horrified face through all of it. You know, seeing, not even bothered by the fact that Five is talking to an imaginary person, and just, you know, that Diego just popping up out of nowhere. And I just loved later on when he was just starting to really process how much crazy has happened in the last few days. And then, beautifully put how Allison just kind of grabbed his face and was like, you deserve this nervous breakdown. It's completely warranted. However, I don't have time for it. And then I guess we have a little bit of Diego, and I'm glad that it looks like seeing what happened with the president was the only way to get Diego off that one track he's been stuck on about saving Kennedy. Diego thinking that saving his life was going to be a band-aid for everything. Not the case, right? In fact, he now knows without a doubt that it actually causes a much bigger problem. But unfortunately, as we saw, he's now going to go back to thinking that it's all Vanya. She really just needs some understanding, and she needs, again, acceptance, right? Because we have to remember that since Vanya was a child, thanks to her father, she's kind of been taught that who she really is was a mistake, that it was wrong, that she was bad. There's a lot of negativity associated with her powers, and she really needs to come to a place where she can fully accept herself, which is why that whole scene with her and her virtual father when she was tripping balls was obviously a metaphor for Vanya really having to finally make peace with who she is as a super, and that her powers aren't necessarily death and destruction. They can be, but she needs to be in harmony with her powers if she's ever going to be balanced and not keep having this issue where she just loses it and destroys everything. So it ended really, really cool. As I said, overall the episode was a bit of a filler, but I did enjoy it. Still loved watching it. Very excited to see what happened. That was a great clippy to end this episode on. I'm very, very excited to see where we're going to go next with this. So I hope you enjoyed watching along with me, guys. If you did, please hit that like button. Let me know that you like it. And if you want to see more from me, as I said before, please subscribe. You know we love to have you here. And until next time, see ya.